There are people who wonder if faith is real. I can tell you, in my family, there's not a second of doubt. Because were it not for the transformative love of Jesus Christ, I would have been saved and I would have been raised by a single mom without my father in the household.
Senator Ted Cruz affirming his faith and his family's unique story at Liberty University the other day, where he announced his run for president. With Miranda Kahn on the anchor desk, J.D. Hayworth here. We're also joined from Newsmax Washington by the chairman of the Civic Forum PAC, Ford O'Connell, and joining us now also from Newsmax Washington, a man who, according to reports, wants to mobilize, quote, an army of pastors to serve in public office. That would be David Lane of the American Renewal Project. David, welcome to America's Forum.
Thank you, JD. Thank you for having me.
You bet. Now, often we hear about mobilizing voters, but you're asking pastors to step forward and run for political office?
Yeah, that's maybe let's start in order, which is what Senator Cruz was just talking about. And I was the wildest man ever lived about 35 years ago and came out of drugs, wine, women, and song, and I got mercy. I deserved judgment. And I came to Christ. I committed my life to Christ. I'm not perfect now, but I read my Bible and have prayed for 30 years. And so you have to begin at the beginning. And so the beginning of America, as you know, the Mayflower Compact, before they got off the boat, in the name of God for the advancement of the Christian faith, there's no question, it's easily defended that America was founded by Christians on a religious mission for the advancement of the Christian faith. Now, we've lost that. We've lost our Judeo-Christian heritage, and we've lost a biblically based culture. Pascal said that there must be a fixed point in order to judge. So they removed prayer in the Bible from public school in '63. So it's my position. I'm a political operative, by the way. People think I'm a pastor. I'm actually a political mechanic. I'm an elder.
Well, David, speaking of political operative, on Monday, Ted Cruz at Liberty University said half the evangelicals stayed home in 2012. While I doubt that stat, his point is absolutely accurate. The Republicans are leaving a lot on the table in terms of potential voters. Why is that, David?
I think in 2008 that McCain campaign did not really go for the evangelicals. I think that if they had, I said at the time, if they had picked Mike Huckabee, I think McCain would have been president. I think if Romney would have picked Mike Huckabee in 12, that Romney would have been president. McCain lost 2 million evangelical voters than George W. Bush did in '04. Romney lost an additional 2 million voters in 12 than McCain lost in '08. So he lost an additional 4 million from Bush in '04. Evangelicals have not engaged at this point, and I agree with Ted Cruz's position, which is of the estimated 65 to 80 million evangelical Christians who read their Bible, go to church, pray. Half of them are not registered to vote, and half of those don't vote. So our goal is to try to get evangelical.
David, that leaves me a follow-up question. What happens if a social conservative or a Christian conservative is not the Republican presidential nominee? Will you still work to actually help turn out evangelicals, or do they need to actually come to a compromise and pick someone, like you say, Mike Huckabee is potentially VP if he doesn't win the nomination?
Well, there's nothing good or bad about the Democrat Party. There's nothing good or bad about the Republican Party. They're holding vessels that you pour things into, like-minded constituents. And so, you know, from our position is that the Republican Party, generally speaking, the evangelicals or the Tea Party, they're not housed in the Democrat Party. They don't believe anything that we believe. So I'm not one of those that calls for a third party. I think it just dilutes us. Somebody has said that politics is addition and multiplication, is not subtraction and division. So it's our goal that at this point, evangelicals housed within the Republican Party, the goal is to get them to move. Now, if there's people that we don't believe that don't have our values, then obviously it makes it more difficult. That's been the problem.
But you've actually been reaching out to a number of candidates, David. I know that you've been in contact with Mike Huckabee. You've also, I believe your daughter worked with, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't your daughter work with one of the, like Rand Paul?
Yeah, she's still with Rand Paul.
Right. And you mentioned Ted Cruz, and I know that your life parallels with his family's life as well. So who are you throwing your support to for 2016?
Well, I don't do that. I'm an honest broker. I've told Ted Cruz and Mike Huckabee and Bobby Jindal, I'm close to Bobby Jindal, and Rand Paul, that I'm an honest broker. And so I'm going to give 100% as an honest broker. As you know, last year we did 20 Pastors in Pews events around the country. And we invited Jeb Bush, Chris Christie, Scott Walker, Mike Huckabee, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz. So I'm an honest broker. My goal is to try to get the estimated 65 to 80 million evangelical Christians in America to engage the culture. And my position was in 12, I didn't think Romney was the best candidate.
And that is something we will have to look to the future on. Unfortunately, time in this temporal plane has gotten to us, but we very much appreciate your time, David Lane. There's more ahead. We'll be right back.